Hey, this is Ben from TattooNOWTV. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you are tuning in. We have a wonderful show for you today. We've got Jime Litwalk from Hart and Huntington with us, Joe Swanson from the Propaganda Podcast. We've got Grant Standard, the master metalworker from the Black Hills, and Jen Shakti, tattooer, painter, shaman. We'll be talking to all of these folks about what they've got in store for you in the coming months. This show is brought to you by the TattooNOW Gathering, which is coming up in September in Keystone, Colorado. We have world-class artists coming this year. You should be there with them. TattooNOW, which powers everything that we do. They make websites and mobile apps for tattoo artists. Check them out at TattooNOW.com. Sullen, who printed these shirts and the shirts for the Paradise Artist Retreat. If you go to Sullen right now, you can enter TattooNOW in the promo code section and you'll get yourself a 15% discount. Ego Tattoo Machines, made by Bez, a friend of ours. EgoTattooMachines.com, brand new website. Check it out. Great little rotaries. Pulse Tattoo Supplies, everything you need. They've got flash, they've got educational books, needles, handmade machines. Check them out at pulsetattoo.com. NeoTat, makers of fine rotary tattoo machines. They'll be paying us a visit at the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. So, stick with us. We've got a great show. We don't have an in-house guest, so you're just going to have to look at my ugly mug and a bunch of wonderful Skypers. We'll be back with Grant Standard to talk about what he's been up to, and you'll get to see a little bit of his amazing metal sculpture, so stick with us.
So different to any other convention. It's really, really cool.
All the shows I've been to, this one is definitely different. And to see the collective artists, at the top of the industry, all in the same building has been a really great experience for me, and I'm sure for everybody that has attended this year.
Because it's purely about the art, so people come here and everyone wants to share. It's so open, like everyone wants to share and see everyone else progress.
Its main focus is the art and the artists and the education.
This type of stuff is what, makes me feel like I'm on the right path and helps me stay focused and inspired.
This is something different. Every year it's been the same. It feels better every time, it seems. Amazing artists, amazing just atmosphere. Almost a bit of a pain to have to work.
The Paradise Tattoo Gathering is significantly different from many other conventions, solely because it deals with the quality over quantity aspect.
Many conventions are just a bunch of tattooers in a large room doing tattoos. So this offers a lot more learning potential, and other artists can show up if they're not working the show and take lots of seminars, and it's like a little mini learning vacation for them.
I've done so many seminars this weekend, it's hard to put a finger on. I've been inspired in so many ways, spiritually, artistically, even the approach that you have to your clients, to your work. Things like that. I think it's been inspiring in a whole, not in one way. I couldn't even sleep last night. My brain was racing so much.
It's great to see the people that are at the top of the tattoo mountain willing to share that information, as opposed to treating every aspect in life as a game to climb over everyone else and just stay up lonely at the top. There's no sense of that here at this show.
It's helping to, increase the visibility of, tattooing, around the world, and, just helping, everybody at least that, participate, to get better.
I would say that I always go home inspired after this particular convention.
I think this convention definitely has an effect on the industry, and I think it already has changed the industry just in the few years that it's been happening.
Hey, we're back. So, we do this show for you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can contact us at TattooNOW at TattooNOW.com. If you're watching right now and you got some questions, you can enter them into the chat room. We'll be glad to answer them. And if you guys think any of your friends might enjoy this, give us an Instagram shout out and put it up in the social media. We'll get as many people on here as possible, and it's free and it's good stuff. All right, we're going to talk with Grant Standard. We'll get him up here in just a second here, and we'll get this rolling. Hey, Grant.
Hey.
How are you?
I am well.
Good. So
can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just great.
Okay,
for folks
good.
who don't know, Grant is a master metal finisher. He runs a foundry in the Black Hills. He does amazing sculptures. Grant, can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy when it comes to creating such masterful artwork?
Philosophy? Well, I just I try to produce what comes. Sort of have these visions and try to produce them the best way I can. Try to manifest what comes. Which is a challenge, but I've been in the business or in the field for 27 years, and I always try to keep learning and keep putting it out there, keep trying new things, and giving it a go.
So, where do you draw your inspiration from when you go to create a piece?
Well, ideas just sort of come in. I follow Lakota tradition, and I have a lot of roots in Celtic, in the Celtic world, in Celtic vein. So that's a great source of inspiration. That medieval style and vein.
I know a lot of your videos. You've got some pretty heavy-duty music going on, and do you draw inspiration from music? Is it something you listen to while you're working? Is it possible to listen to it while you're working? You draw inspiration from things like that?
Absolutely. Thank God for earbuds. Music is. I'm a guitarist also, just a sort of hobbyist, and with the guitar. But music is very important to me. It takes me places, and thanks for bringing that up. I think a lot of these ideas come from places the music takes me, and so that's a huge source. But other than that, and along with that, visionary experiences, and shamanic experiences, visionary experiences really help with creating the work.
So we first met you at the Paradise Artist Retreat.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about your time there? Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, it was an absolute blast. That was such a treat, and it's definitely one of the highlights of my year so far. And hopefully I can make it back there next year. It would be great.
You got to do a little collaborative sculpture with Chet Zar?
Yes, that piece I was sculpting was one of my ideas, but of course Chet is a master sculptor. I think he's a better sculptor than painter, and that's almost sounds bad to say for his fans, but he is the work he does in the effects industry is amazing. You know, as far as sculpting, I hope to achieve what he can some by my end of my lifetime. And so he helped me with the skull portion of that piece, and that was a great treat to have his input on that, because he's the man for sculpting a skull.
Yeah, but he truly is a master sculptor. You know,
Yeah.
painting's relatively new compared to his sculpture career. You know.
Yeah.
So have you cast that piece?
It is cast. I have been doing a new vein of work with a lot of fabricated, really medieval looking plates, and I had a few of those pieces there at the show. I'm going to incorporate that same background with that piece once it's cast, and it is cast, and it's waiting for me to do some welding on and finishing. And so I would say in the next month and a half that should be finished.
So we have your video that you've been running on the internet for a little while there. It's with the ISIS music in the background of you forging
Awesome.
a piece. Can you tell us
Awesome.
a little bit about what that piece was and what we're going to be seeing?
That piece, Zion, is it's my biggest bronze piece. The large one, I do them each individually, so there's an 8-inch version and a little 3-inch version. But that piece, Zion, is to me, it's about, you know, that innermost sterling sphere represents that peace of God that we all carry, you know, our highest inner self. And the layers around it are a little like the crap that we shield that with, you know, and the stuff that we have to work through to achieve that our highest good. So you know, and Zion is the wish to our highest wish to achieve that.
So folks that see your work and are interested in finding out more about it, what's the best place for someone to get in touch with you and your foundry?
The best place for my work would be to standardmetalworks.com, and I see that's up on the screen. Yep. So that's awesome. And for foundry work or casting would be blackhillsbronze.com.
Okay. So you have any shows coming up that people can check out? I know when we talked earlier, you said you were just finishing up a show. Do you have something in the horizon?
I probably do. Nothing. I'm not. Nothing for the rest of this year. But I'm on Facebook too, so look me up there, and shows coming up, I'll be sure and post.
Excellent.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, the conjoined, I guess it'd be conjoined 4 now, show coming up that Chet Zar curates. I'll have work in that show.
Oh, that's a great show.
So that's the next one. Yeah.
It's got some creepy stuff in it.
Yeah, it's great. All those Hollywood effects guys.
Yes.
Friends of Chet's.
So we're going to show your video and let people see your process a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you for talking with us, and hopefully we can talk again soon and see some new work from you. And we'll hopefully see you at some more Paradise events. It's always great to talk to non-tattooers in the tattoo community. You know, it's great talking with you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, this is Grant's pretty awesome, pretty intense video of him casting Zion. Check it out. All right, we're back. Sorry for the little audio blurb right there. You know, we're pretty DIY around this place. If you could only see this place. You know what it takes to make this? I'm just kidding. You know what it takes to make this? So we're going to be talking with Jen Shakti. Jen, do you have your earbuds in, or are we listening to your speakers?
No, I have my earbuds in, but you know what?
Are you watching the broadcast right now?
No, I have my earbuds in. One sec.
Turn that down, please.
We'll get stuck in a crazy infinite loop.
Right. All right. I got my tech support husband on it.
Awesome.
So, how's that? Better?
That's great.
Okay.
So how's everything where you're at?
Oh, so good. It's actually pretty hot in SoCal right now and humid. It's unusual, but it's all good. It's summertime.
We've got pretty hot and humid here too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So for the folks out there who might not be familiar with you, could you tell us all a little bit about what you're about?
Sure. You know, the focus of my work is what I call sacred tattooing. And there's two parts of that. One part is the work that I do with my clients. So I call myself a tattoo shaman. And, you know, that's another word for that would be like being a medicine woman. And when I work with my clients, we do the work in ceremony, in sacred space, and I make sure that they really understand and we work with their intention and that they're clear about why they're getting the tattoo. The other part of that is that, you know, most of us know that when you get a tattoo, you might be thinking about that for 30 years. But when it comes to the point and you're sitting there with your artist, you know, maybe in a couple of hours if it's a small tattoo, you get that and then you're transformed for the rest of your life. And that's a really, really powerful thing. It's powerful visually, it's powerful spiritually, it's powerful psychologically. So, you know, as a shaman, let me be clear about, like, what does that even mean? So I see that a shaman is someone who works for the benefit of their tribe, for the spiritual well-being of their tribe. So by tribe, I mean, you know, my tattoo clients and definitely my family, my community, and, you know, planetary-wise as well. But a shaman has their foot in each world. So, you know, I definitely have a life of a householder and, you know, the day-to-day affairs of running a business. But you also have this ability through vision. I find that's where my strongest gift is, through vision, to understand the spiritual world. But I also, you know, I have done a lot of practice in that form. It's not like I just decided to call myself that one day. I mean, I've actually traveled all over the world and you know, done a lot of personal work and received initiations from, in fact, I just got back last Sunday from a 2-week trip to Peru where I was traveling with 10 of my tribe mates, and we were doing ceremonies at the Inca temples with the indigenous people who are the Q'ero. So I feel sometimes like I'm living in a movie or some National Geographic documentary. But the other part of sacred tattooing is what I bring back to the tattoo community. And I feel that, well, this is probably a good time to talk about the workshop that I'll be doing at Keystone. Yeah, so what the Sacred Tattooing Workshop is it's geared towards tattoo artists, and we start to talk about, you know, well, what is sacred tattooing? Because guaranteed, the first tattoo artists ever were shamans 30,000 years ago. Like, how did tattooing even come to be something? Why did ancient people do it? Why has it been around so long? So we start kind of looking at the history, and I've kind of tracked this through time. And, you know, some of it is speculation, some would say, but I really believe that a lot of my information has been given to me from the ancestors of tattooing, and that because I was open to it and studying it anyways, and taking good care of tattooing, it started to come probably around 2005. And I started to work with my clients in a different way. And it was really close. That was the year that my father died. And I really had an opportunity to kind of reevaluate who I am. How do I work? And I gave myself permission to really go deeper into my shamanic studies. So I started to do healing on clients when they would come, and maybe they were feeling a little down or they were worried about something, because again, I'm sure most artists can understand that if your client isn't relaxed and receptive, man, it's just hard to put that tattoo in there. I mean, it's almost like the pigment beating up on their skin. It heals poorly. So that's part of the work. And also, sometimes when you're working with someone, well, every time you're tattooing someone, your energies, you're merged, you're plugged in, and you are picking up energetically and sometimes telepathically, like what's going on with your client, and vice versa. So sometimes that is a wonderful thing and you feel uplifted from it, and then sometimes you just feel like you've been hit by a truck. So there are very simple energetic tools and exercises that we talk about and practice through the workshop to help you create a shield around yourself, so that your energy is your own and your client's their own. And, after a time, I found that the focus of that shifted a little bit as my personal healing increased. I was much stronger and able to interface with my clients in a more authentic and truly loving way. So we talk about in the workshop, how does energy work and how can we develop that? Because being an artist is a wonderful thing, and there's benefits and there's pitfalls. So I would say some of the benefits are that artists are visionaries. So how can we work to increase that? Typically most people, it's just through practice and, practice of their craft. Well, there's actually energetic, let's call them shortcuts, that we can practice in a form of like meditation that are very simple and quick to help to rewire our brain and make it work more efficiently to have visionary experiences. So those are some of the things that we work on.
So you've done seminars at COSM, right, with Alex Gray and Allison? Have you been there, yes?
No, I
haven't.
I can't. It's coming. It's coming because last March in Tamaya, we met and definitely made a really good connection. And yeah, it's just a matter of getting myself out there to New York to do that. But yeah, it was great because their drawing art ritual was phenomenal, and Alex and Allison, just really helped pave the way and make those connections in people's mind of how, not only art, but our tattoo art is so sacred. So, it's going to be great working with them in the future.
Yeah, they're definitely a great bunch of folks.
Yeah.
So for people that are interested in taking your seminar, they can find you at the Paradise Tattoo Gathering in Keystone coming up in September.
Yes, that's right.
If someone wants to get tattooed by you, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is it through your website?
Yeah, my website has my email address. I go through my email primarily, and that's the easiest way to kind of transmit information. Is it helps them get clear in describing what it is they want. They can send me reference material, and then we go back and forth with dates that way. So I also wanted to say, as kind of a prelude to the Sacred Tattooing Workshop, every third Tuesday of the month I have a free conference call that I call the talking stick, and it's talking about spiritual and healing topics in tattooing. And I'm just so excited that there's more artists than I even imagined out there who are this kind of consciousness is emerging in tattooing, and it's time. So, part of my mission, if you will, is to help create that network for artists to feel that they are supported and not crazy and not alone, because this is a very powerful and positive thing that we can be offering to the world through our clients. And it's just changed the way that I work, and I just enjoy my job more than ever. And I'm just so grateful, and I want to share that because tattooing has, been such a wonderful part of my life. And
how would someone get to be a part of this conference call?
I post it on my Facebook page,
okay.
And you could also email me, and I can add you to my email list, and I send out a reminder so that you kind of can schedule to be on the call. It's this month. It is the 16th, I believe, and it's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, yeah.
All right. So if anyone out there is interested in hearing some more from Jen, you should definitely check that out and get in touch with her. Jen, it's been great talking with you.
Great. Thanks, Ben.
And,
thanks, everyone.
I will definitely see you in Keystone in September.
Beautiful. Thanks again.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was Jen Shakti, and we will be back with Jime Litwalk to talk about what he's been doing lately. He is going to be on the upcoming season of Ink Master. He is working down in Florida at Hart in Huntington, and we'll talk to him about everything that he's got going on. So stick with us, and we'll be right back with Jime.
I'm Bez from 666 Studios. Let me show you my ego. Over the years I've been tattooing, I've started developing wrist problems, and I've noticed a lot of artists have developed a similar problem. With the ego, the idea was to design a light, affordable machine. So here it is, the ego. The ego uses our patented power triangle system. It simulates front and back spring. You have 6 different grades of rubber, from hard to soft, hard to soft, simulating front and back spring. RCA jack, nice and convenient, nice stable connection. Vice, a little bit of pressure, nice super secure lock. This is the Ego Bio Grip. This is our new grip. It's super comfortable. It's made of super soft silicone. It has a part at the back to help relieve wrist strain, and a part at the front to help relieve vibration on the front finger. Tattooists love the feel of a coil machine. A lot of rotaries don't behave like a coil. With the Ego, we've simulated the front and the back spring of a coil machine, so you get the best of both worlds. Some of the advantages of using the Ego is you've got extremely lightweight machine, which is very movable in your hand. You're not restricted. It's more like a pen. It's like tattooing with a marker, and that's the whole idea of the shape of the Ego, and get the centre of balance over the top of the tube and away from the back of your hand. So that enables you to have a bit more freedom and a bit more of a marker-like experience when you're tattooing. With that, it gives you the ability to tattoo for longer and have a little bit more control over your tattooing process, because your wrists aren't getting tired and the weight of the machine is nicely balanced.
So I've given the Egos a go, and the speed is just amazing. It's just like using a coil. It really is. For the speed and the quality work I can put out, I'm very happy with them. I have many Egos from Bez, probably about 6 now, and I'm very happy with them all.
So much time and effort went into making the Ego. I'm happy where it's at, and so are a lot of other artists. It's definitely taken off.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. Hey, Jimmy, say hello to the good peoples.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. So you were working at Hart and Huntington down in Florida?
Yeah, I moved down to Florida probably about just the end of December, beginning of January.
How's it treating you down there?
Much better than Vegas did. I like it better here. It's definitely a better environment to raise a family in.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Vegas could probably be a little crazy.
It can be, you know. I think if you're a single person ready to get nuts and crazy, I think it's definitely that's definitely a place to kind of post up and, you know, store your clothes and have a good time. But I don't know, I'm too old now, you know. And
I can understand.
good family and kids trying to raise, you know. I think it's just wasn't for me, you know. It has a bunch of stuff, but I just think that, you know, like everything in life, there's always two really good things, just not good for each other. And I think that was just how me in Vegas was.
Right on.
Just wasn't my forte.
Family first.
Definitely, most definitely.
So you've been tattooing for quite a while now. Where did you get your start?
I've been tattooing now 20 years. It'll be 21 years this November. Got my start in Southwest Detroit, Michigan, my hometown. You know, just it'll always be home. But that's
just like that Journey
basically where I
song,
got my start from.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So did you have a traditional apprenticeship? Are you self-taught?
No, I had a straight up traditional hardcore apprenticeship, you know, kind of the old Karate Kid, you know, thing where you're doing shit and wondering what the hell does this have to do with anything with tattooing? And, you know, the answer was always, it'll make you a better tattooer, you know, going from mowing lawns and, you know, going grocery shopping and picking guys up from the bar at 2-3 o'clock in the morning to drop them off. And, you know, like, you know, it was probably about I'd say a good year and a half before they ever let me even touch a tattoo machine. You know, I had it was pretty grueling. You know, I mean, I'm thankful and appreciating and grateful for everything that you know, went into it. I think that's what a lot of the industry now is really lacking. You know, is that good old school hardcore apprenticeship of being able. You know, there's some things that, you know, I think people really miss out on. You know, being taught that way.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ass kicking missing from tattoo. People might be getting a little soft, you know.
I not only did you get the ass kicking, but literally you got an ass kicking. There was you know, like, it wasn't just some entitlement, you know, that, you know, well, I've been apprenticing for 3 months, so, you know, I should own my own shop now, you know. Like, I remember this one time I questioned them about, like, I scrubbed a bunch of tubes and autoclaved them, and, you know, he ripped them all out of the bag and was like, do them over again. And I was like, what the hell for? You know, like, dude, I cleaned them. They were good, you know. And he's like, you just do it. You don't ask. And I was like, well, what does that matter? And he was like, you know what? You're right. Go home for a week.
Oh, shit.
And, dude, and it broke my heart, man. I was bummed out. You know, like, I was like, oh my God, did I just mess up my opportunity? You know, I was so sad. And then, you know, it was like a week later, you know, and he called me up. He's like, you ready to come back in? And I was like, yeah, man. You know, he left me back, and he's like, just don't ever question, man. He's like, you know, what I'm trying to instill into you is, you know, not to be lazy. You know, if something needs to be done, you might not want to do it. You just got to do it. And I was like, well, shit, you couldn't have just told me that message? You know, you didn't have to fucking, you know, like, ground me or nothing. He's like, yeah, I did. You know, it just shows that you wanted it. You know, if it affects you that much, it just shows you where your passion and your heart really truly lies. And, you know, it was a lot of those kind of moments throughout my apprenticeship.
You have a very vivid memory of that. So apparently it worked. It worked really very well.
There's so many times, like, and, you know, I'm back in my apprenticeship, you know, when we actually still handmade needles ourselves. And I remember every Sunday was needle making day, and, you know, I would try to, you know, make needles for the whole shop. And I remember I had probably about 150 needles made, and he comes walking by, and I was like so happy. It's like, well, maybe this should be enough for the week. Maybe even 2 weeks. It'd be good. Figure I could maybe take a Sunday off. And he walked up and he grabbed him by his hand, and he just looked at him all. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And he just went wham, smashed them all on the table, and goes, do them all over again.
Oh shit!
I felt like my heart just shattered. I was like, fuck, really?
So,
all right.
You want to tell us who this guy was, or do you want to keep it a secret?
No, I apprenticed under a guy named Chuck Gruhl.
Oh, okay.
He was a pretty awesome guy. Yeah, he was the one who really started to open my eyes up to like tattooing, of like the like the actual art and respect of it. There was I was young. I started getting, I got my first tattoo when I was 15. And I started hanging around the tattoo shop, like, a lot when I was like 16, 17. And, it was just visually cool to me, just seeing all the different personalities and the people in there, and just the camaraderie that they had in the shop. It would just seem so appealing to me. It seemed like a family or a brotherhood. It was like, it's like me being able to hang out at a bar without being in a bar. It was just cool just to watch the vibe, of how everyone just interacted there. And, it just really drew me to it, in this art form. My childhood dream was to be an animator. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. I wanted to do something with art, but getting it, hanging out at the tattoo shop, it was one of those things that I was like, wow, man, there's something to this, and he really started to educate me about really what all goes into it, and it didn't have to have some artsy fartsy meaning, but in a sense there kind of was. There was a sense of like a personal story to oneself. It was really alluring to me, and I kind of fell into it.
Do you do any art outside of tattooing?
Yeah, I still not as much as I'd like to, but I still definitely I paint with a one shot. Mess with a little bit of markers and pencil and stuff like that. I think as an artist, I think you always need to do something outside of just tattooing. It's like a fighter or a trainer or an athlete. You're always constantly working out. And I think it's just one of those mediums that just help you keep it up on your game.
So most folks watching this probably know that you're going to be on this season of Ink Master.
Yeah.
Was that a head trip of an experience for you? I mean, I know you've done a little TV in the past too, but this was probably a little more intense.
Yeah, I've been on some episodes of some past shows and stuff like that. But when I had the call to see if I wanted to go on Ink Master, and like everyone, mostly probably through the industry, I caught a couple of episodes, and I had my my thoughts and views on it and everything like that. And like a lot of people probably sit there and say, oh man, I can go there and do what they do, and they're not always picking the greatest artist, or the greatest artist didn't make it all the way, or like it's all opinionated and stuff. But when you get there, there was so much more that goes into it that I had no idea.
Right.
And it was definitely a big trip, man. It was a double-edged sword. There's some really things that I think that made me pretty humble, and open my eyes to a lot of stuff and pay attention to a lot of certain things. And definitely it'll chip away at any kind of ego or a high horse that you think you're riding in on, and it definitely ground you, and but there is some other things that I think I felt like I could definitely offer to going on to something like that. I'm going to have people who are going to be super supportive, and I'm going to have people who are going to be negative. But I think such is a career as an artist, who anyone puts their stuff out there to the public to view.
Yeah, you could talk to Clint Cummings about the haters, man. They came on him like a storm.
It's one thing. It's most people are going to hate that guy, are going to hate the character that he was on a TV.
Right.
If you ever had a chance to really sit there and hang out with that guy, he's not a bad guy. It's like
editing does a number on some people, but it's
oh, completely. Mentally too. I mean, it'll definitely break you down. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and people that have to make a show like that possible. But I don't regret it. I did it, and I stand behind it. It was an experience. It was a good time, and I could walk away with a different insight. Like my hat's off to a lot of the guys who were on past shows or any show like that, because there's a lot of stuff that the average public will never ever see.
Right.
Those guys that have to endure and stuff, and it is what it is. It's TV land. They're gonna market our industry and show it how they want to, but I think it's up to artists to kind of go out there and try to give them better work to look at. We had a complaint probably about 10, 12 years ago. I think even Gabe can follow up on this one as a comment too, of like, we used to complain about tattoo magazines not being good anymore. We complain that, all they print is bad tattoos and, tattoo artists that aren't that good. And you would talk to the artists that were complaining, and you said, well, what did you send them?
Right.
Well, I don't send them anything. Well, then why complain? If you don't believe me, they want to print good tattoos. They want to have good articles. They want that stuff. If you don't supply them with that, then they have nothing to print. And so I looked at it like, well, I feel like, I've been in the industry long enough, and I felt like I had something to show. So why not go on to something like this and be able to show our industry of, my style of tattooing.
So when does it premiere? When can everybody check it out?
The premiere is the 16th of July. I believe it's at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, on Spike TV.
You doing any premiere parties?
Actually, yeah. It was. We got some other contestants that were on the show, and the previous seasons are going to come down here to Florida. We're going to do it over at the Hard Rock Cafe down in downtown Orlando in the City Walk.
Oh, right on. That'll be a blast. When's that's going to be on the 16th? I'm assuming, yes. You're going to watch the premiere.
Yeah, we're going to watch the premiere. We're going to have a little party from 9 o'clock till midnight. We got the Hard Rock was definitely cool enough and to open up a big space for us and hook us up with a lot of stuff. And Spike TV sending out a bunch of swag, and Steadfast Brand and Hart and Huntington are definitely sponsoring the show and passing out a bunch of stuff too. So they're definitely I got some really great supporters behind me. So I'm very thankful for it.
It's got to be a good feeling.
It is. It's a little it's a little nerving because it hasn't aired, so I don't know how really the TV's gonna perceive you or make you up as a character. So there's this bit of nervousness of how it's gonna be perceived, when they actually air it. But I got some really great family behind me, some great friends, some artists, and some supporters that are definitely kind of help break that nervousness down and stand behind me. So I'm very thankful for it.
That's great. Well, we don't edit this at all, so you're going to come across just the way you're coming across to me right now. We don't have a budget for that kind of stuff around here.
Nice.
I got a question about where you're working. It's a subject that we're real familiar with around here. How is it working for non-tattooers? Is it an issue at all?
A long time ago, I used to say that it was, if you're not in the industry and you're not a tattooer, it's, I couldn't stand, I was like, oh, it's a taboo thing. You don't do it. But I think if the artist and the client's best interest is at hand, then why not?
Right.
It's, because I know a lot of times there's people who tattoo that own a shop that shouldn't, that there's, and they're sheerly in it for the money, and they don't give a fuck. I don't know if I could swear in here. I apologize.
It's the internet, man. You can say whatever you like.
I'll just try to keep it down as much as I can. I think when it comes down to its characteristics, you're gonna have shitheads in all walks of life and in every industry.
Definitely.
And when it comes down to, I think it's if you're providing your artists with the all the best of what they can do to operate, and a sterile environment and a comforting environment for the clients themselves to come in, then who's to know the difference?
It's true, and as long as they're treating you fairly,
they treat me fairly, and I think and it's awesome. They stand behind me, they give me all the freedom that I want. It's no problem.
Hey, so we've got a chat room going on right now. And so people that are watching can ask us questions, and someone wants to know if you have any drawing exercises that you go through. I mean, I know you've been tattooing for a long time, so work is drawing, but do you have any recommended drawing exercises for someone who might be new to tattooing?
You know what? I draw every day. On my days off, my work days, even when it's hectic and scheduled, and crazy, I think it's important that, as an artist, and if you want to do this for a living, that it's just like training. It's just muscle memory that you just put pencil to paper. I don't care if it's a quick doodle sketch. If you got 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour, anything, just to put pencil to paper and just create something. It's I think really good to try to also get outside of the tattoo shop environment. Meet up with some other artists that maybe don't tattoo, that you can just pick their brain and maybe learn a different technique. But there's nothing that you can't do that wouldn't help. If just try to be creative. If you're into painting, spray paint, hell, if you want to glue macaroni to a cardboard and paint it up, with your kids. I mean, I think, try to be as creative as you can. But yeah, every single day I make sure that I put pencil to paper and just doodle something, even if it's for 5 minutes. I just try to create one thing that, just try to get an idea down on paper that maybe I can visit at a later date and work on it some more, or at least just get something down that has nothing to do with a tattoo or anything else. I'm just drawing to draw.
Right on. Well, hey, thanks for answering our questions, and thanks for being with us. We really
appreciate it so much, man. Thank you guys. Hopefully I can make it out to the gathering in Colorado. It's always been on my son's birthday every year, and I see that the dates moved this year, so I'm definitely going to try to make it out and hang out. So
it's going to be a great
time. It'd be great to see you guys again. Yeah. Well, Colorado's awesome too.
If you make it out there, I'll be sure to buy you a beer.
I don't drink, but I'll definitely take a water.
Root beer. No, I don't know. Seltzer.
There we go.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for talking with us. And
thanks for your time, and thanks for everyone for tuning in, man. I appreciate it.
We'll keep tabs on you on Inkmaster. Everyone take a look at Spike TV July 16th.
Thank you.
All right, man. All right, well, that was Jimmy, and he's an awesome dude, huh? We will be back with Joe Swanson. Joe Swanson does the Propaganda podcast every week. He's interviewed our very own Gabe Ripley. He has talked with Russ Abbott most recently, I believe. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of shit to say. So we'll be back with Joe Swanson after this. Get back. Hey, we're back. That was a quick one. We weren't quite expecting that. So we're going to be talking with Joe Swanson. He's a tattooer and recently been a pretty badass podcast host. If you haven't caught his podcast, it's the Joe Swanson Propaganda Podcast. It's pretty kick-ass. Hey, Joe.
What's happening, man? How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
How do you like the visual version of this? You're probably used to being behind.
Yes,
yeah.
I love it. I have a little, it is getting up over 100 degrees here. I got a little honey whiskey in my hand.
Oh, that stuff's
we
delicious.
got the kids swimming out back. It's good, man. So I'm excited about it.
So tell the folks out there who might not be familiar with you a little bit about your podcast and how long you've been doing it.
Well, in 2009, well, let's see here. In late last year, 2012, I started doing some interviews and conversations online. I got my podcast up and running around September, I think. And, quickly through fortunate acquaintances of mine and people that hit me up, namely Hassan Asari, who is worked with Mike Pike for a lot of years and knew JoJo Ackerman, and he came on and hit me up about coming on, and that kind of snowballed things. And I've was fortunate and blessed enough to talk with JoJo, who I've respected and had great admiration for his work for a lot of years. And it's kind of it went from there. It's really just a conversational based talk between artists and folks who are creative personalities. It tends to be tattoo related, but I've had Adam Banton, who's a pro BMXer, on there. I've had Carrie Byron from Mythbusters, who's a good friend of mine, on there. Real good friend.
You just made a lot of nerds really happy. Like, ooh, Carrie Byron.
Yeah, look at that. That's Paul Urick on my shirt. That's Carrie's husband, a really good friend of mine, a guy who I apprenticed to tattoo and who's doing great things in San Francisco. So, man, Ben, it's been really great and to be able to talk with all these wonderful folks and get that podcast up.
So what was your motivation behind it? What made you decide to be like, look, I got to talk to these people and I want to put it out there for other people to hear it?
You know what? I've had in my tattoo career of 17 years, I've been blessed to be around some really great people. The Martin Newicks from Body Graphics and Picture Machine, Erno, I've worked with Erno, and a lot of different folks. And throughout those times, I've had abilities to have conversation with them, and I thought that these stories needed to be kind of told, and kind of the day-to-day happenings of a tattoo shop are fun to hear about. So I wanted to get those kind of things out there for people, and I would probably say that the earliest that I had a thought about doing this kind of interview, it's turned into more conversational, but an interview style thing on the internet was back in 2009 when I talked with Dave Gibson, and I did an interview for him for my website back then, and also Clayton Patterson, who is he spearheaded the New York Tattoo Association meetings, which was almost a convention every week in New York, that guys like Timothy Hoyer and Eddie Deutsch and a lot of Guy Atchison and a lot of those guys kind of came up through and were able to display their work every week. And this was prior to, I believe, 96, when New York was still illegal to tattoo there. So everybody was kind of shut off, and this was their opportunity to come together and display their work and talk about tattooing. And so I did that back in 2009, and then in 2012, I had been kind of a listener of podcasts, and I said, you know what, man, nobody's doing it, on iTunes, and I have it on Stitcher Radio and different things like that, and I just said, let's do it, and I scrambled my way through it, and it's still a work in progress, and I'm still, taking it show by show, and, real excited to have got an email from Gabe from over there at Off the Map, and been invited to the Keystone show coming up in Colorado, and that's where we're going to do our first live show.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be great.
Man, before you called, I just confirmed with Doug Hardy and Matt Shama. They're going to be one of my shows out there,
awesome.
I believe on Friday. Yeah, it's great. Doug's been on the show before, and wonderfully articulate and a great guest. So if you haven't heard that, you could find it on iTunes and Stitcher. But I'm excited. I really am happy to take the show to the next level and do it live. And I'm also talking with getting JoJo back on, and also Seth Safari. I've talked with him. He sounds very interested, and and then there's one other show that I'm still trying to book guests, and but so far, a Matt Shama, Doug Hardy show is pretty much confirmed, and the other guys have expressed interest. So, man, it's going to be cool, I think.
I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I like the format of your show. Gabe and I took a pretty long drive out to Guy Aitchison's place, Hyperspace, and we listened to many episodes of your podcast on the way out. It's a 20-hour drive. And I really like the casual conversational format of your podcast. It's like you're sitting in a room with a couple guys, and they're just talking. And
that's what I've gotten a lot of good feedback, and I continue to try to make it better. I continue to try to work on my skills as the host of the show. You know, I'm not the star. My guests are the stars of my show, and I try to make it fun and easy for them to be on. And, you know, I got some feedback from Ben Hori Benny over in Japan. And he said, you know, listening to the Doug Hardy podcast was like conversations that he and Doug used to have. And that to me is perfect. I love that. I love hearing that from people. And that's what I continue to strive to make it a fun and easily listen to hour of talk between artists about inspiration. And, you know, the name of the show, the Joe Swanson Propaganda Podcast, there's a lot of negativity, it seems, out in tattooing these days. And I want to propagate some positivity for people and give them a smile on their face every week and maybe a chuckle about a story. So it's been so fun so far, and I'm looking forward to many more episodes of the show.
So you've done some instructional stuff, right, about tattooing?
Yeah, I have Kingpin Tattoo Supply is a sponsor of my podcast, and they also distribute my DVD on Painting Tattoo Flash. It is a 8-step process that basically takes you from materials to getting the design on paper, all the way through the back, you know, through spit shading with black and through the color, and we talk about everything. So you know, you can get that DVD for $50, I think maybe even 47, through Kingpin, or you can get it through myself, ogjoeswanson@gmail.com. Yeah, man, it's been really cool to have that out. That came out in 2009, and then Tattoo Style Drawing is my volume 1 is my next DVD that I put out. And you know, that's really just you know, I think any artist could get something out of it, but I catered that more to the beginning artist who wants to have a little bit of an insight into some of the formulas and patterns that we as tattooers use every day on some of the most you know, tattooed images, fire and water, webs, things like that, things I've picked up over the years. Flowers is in that one as well. So real good little techniques that are going to give people kind of an edge when they're drawing, maybe make things a little more efficiently or more efficient in their art. So I have a volume 2 that's, you know, when I find time, it'll come out as well. I have another maybe 6 little formulas that I'm going to put out, but eventually, that when time
allows,
comes,
there's no time, man. There's no time.
It isn't, man. You know, you're doing this show every 2 weeks, and you know, I'm sure you put in hours into the preparation just as I do, and you know, you guys are doing a great job, and I was so, you know, feel really happy that you guys reached out to me and have me on as a guest and invited me to Keystone. You know, it's a great thing that you guys are doing with education and leading people towards, you know, the right type of artists and educating them on how to find those things. And which I think in this day and age with tattooing as it is, you know, a lot of people can flounder and they get lost with how much information is on the internet. So you have you know, you have shows like this and shows like myself, and you know, publications like Tattoo Culture Magazine, and you know, and then on a day-to-day basis, you know, I'm working at a wonderful shop in Lodi, California called Hard Luck Tattoo. I work with some really great artists, Bow in the Wind and George Totten. He's just come on board with us, and Paul Marquez is a wonderful black and gray artist, and Joel Ruiz. You know, our shop manager is Dan. He holds everything together for us. We got guys that come and hang out and help out, like Mystical Mike, and just like any shop, man. You know, so, and we're daily trying to educate folks on, you know, getting good tattoos and what to look for in portfolios and how to choose an artist. And so it's amazing to work with such a great group of guys and you know, be inspired by all the guys that I have coming on, you know, my podcast as well.
That's great that you share our same mentality. You know, education is very important. So this point in the show, we usually do a tattoo of the day, which is from TattooNOW, the website. Tattoo artists submit their tattoos. And every day between votes and the staff, we pick the best tattoo of the day, and then we compile them all. So for the show, we put them all together, and we just take a look at them and run through them all. So you want to take a look at some tattoos with me?
I would love to.
All right, we'll take a look at some. And for the folks out there that want to follow along, we have the TattooNOW app. All the tattoos of the day are on the TattooNOW app, and you can vote for the ones you like. All right, so this is a wonderful back piece from...
Yeah, I saw that one today on the website. I didn't get a chance to look at it real close, but it looks amazing. You know, it's got the underwater and the looks like above water scene.
It's got some
beautiful color.
It's got some evolution kind of stuff going on, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some creatures crawling out of the soup.
Oh, I see what that is. Yeah, that's great. It's really nice texture in the leaves, and you know, it looks like in the trees in the background. Beautiful stuff.
Oh, this is another big back piece that we just had. Aaron Della Vedova.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that guy, amazing artist, works down in San Diego at Guru Tattoo. This guy that did Joe Rogan's sleeve. Joe was one of the big inspirations for me to, as he asked before, start my podcast. You know, those guys were doing amazing things with their genre of listeners and comedy, and yeah, Aaron did a wonderful job on Joe's sleeve. I've seen pictures of that. He's a great artist.
Oh, look at this adorable little pup.
Look at that.
It's Stefano Alcantara. Stefano was a good friend of the shop up here. We see him a lot. His black and gray work is amazing. It really is.
Yeah, phenomenal, man. You know, you look at to be able to recreate that, you know, the look of the eyes and the softness of the skin on somebody's skin is absolutely amazing. It looks flawless. I'm really happy with how he did that. Look at that, the highlights.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just the emotion in the eyes is wonderful. Somebody is loving that tattoo as much as they love their puppy.
Stefano always does an amazing job, that's for sure. So this is an off-the-map artist, Tim Senecal. Tim has been doing some super bright stuff lately, and I really dig this piece. This is he was finishing up a sleeve that he had started, and the guy just said, "Go for it."
No, that's wonderful. I mean, it kind of mixes, you know, a little bit of that new kind of, you know, stuff that I saw being done back in San Francisco in the late '90s, but then it brings, you know, some really new, bright and wonderful technique to it as well. I mean, the pinup is amazing. Yeah, it reminds me, I'm going blank on the guy's name, but he did a friend of mine, George Campese's stomach in an outer space scene. It looked phenomenal. This is just great. I love how he mixes up the hard line and the soft, you know, real detailed lines as well. It's beautiful.
I really like the glow off of the helmet from the ray gun.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch. You know, it's really nice.
Yeah, no, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't even notice that. That's amazing. Really cool stuff. Space is hard to do.
Space is infinite.
Yeah. That's a nice one. Josh, who's that? Josh?
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Josh V. Killing
Josh
it.
W.
Oh, is that a W? I can't see the full thing. Josh W. Killing it. Regardless, it's amazing, and to pull it off with those kind of colors, that's really unique. The way he's done the cherry blossoms with, you know, very similar colors to the bird. That's really nice.
Tying it together, you know, using the consistent color palette across the whole tattoo.
Yeah, it's you know, it's different, and I like that. You know, cherry blossoms tend to get, you know, played out the same way every time, and you know, I just saw my good friend Bound to Win at Hard Luck do a sleeve that had wind and water, and he put blue cherry blossoms in with the water, and it looked amazing, and it just, you know, it popped really well. And
it goes to show you don't have to stick with what's been done to have a traditional look to it, you know.
A real good way to maybe spark your creativity is to take that Russ Abbott. You know, Russ talked on my podcast last week about
here's Russ's tattoo.
Amazing. And look, you can go on and take a seminar with him coming up real soon through TattooNOW.com.
That's right.
And he's got his color palette seminar, and anything that you can get through the internet. And I love what you guys are doing with that stuff with the webinars, and absolutely amazing. So any tattooers out there that are maybe stuck or feeling like they're in a grind with the color palette that they're using, jump online and take that seminar from Russ, or catch him at a seminar. It'll be well worth your
that seminar is July 28th with Russ, and you can either attend it in person here in East Hampton at Off the Map, or you can take it online. And people are going to be able to either bring in their pictures of their work or email it to Russ, and he'll critique them. And actually, coming up very next Sunday, we're doing a seminar, a black and gray seminar with Big Gus.
I saw that, man. I one of these days I'm going to jump on that, because that's one thing. I have an amazing black and gray artist amongst my midst, and Paul Marquez at Hard Luck. But I love to get another perspective, or as many perspectives as you can. That's key in staying fresh and staying on top of your game is take these seminars. I still, every day I draw lettering, I look back on the seminar that I took with Dave Gibson and about lettering. So it's amazing, guys. If you have an opportunity to, and you do, there's no excuse now, because Off the Map Tattoo and TattooNOW.com is putting this stuff out there for you guys, available wherever you're at. So
that's right.
Take advantage of it and really step your game up.
So
look at that. That's cool. I love how
Mike DeVries piece here. This is.
Oh yeah, what an amazing guy. I've had an opportunity to watch him work at a convention, and he put a Joker on a good collector's chest, and he does amazing. You don't see a lot of the black and gray work for him, but when you do, man, it pops. Look at those eyes.
I really love the depth and the orange and the reds and the eyes, and there's like a fire in there. It really comes through.
Yeah, such a good contrast with the dark and soft grays that the piece has. Amazing detail in the chain, and really a nice take on an owl clock piece, which I've actually been commissioned to do an owl clock piece as well. Much more traditional in its sensibility, but I love what he did with it.
Ian Robert McCowan, he's going to be at Paradise with us out in Keystone, Colorado.
Yeah, that's great. I think when I counted last, Ben, I have probably 70 something. No, is it 70? 50 maybe, 53 eyes on myself tattooed.
Wow.
I have a creature on my chest that Jeff Rescher did that has eyes all in its wings, and I have an eye on my chest, I have an eye on my hand. I love eyes, man. That one's done exceptionally well. Look at that.
That's a beautiful piece. Travis Litke, this was done for a person who wanted their 3 favorite tomatoes.
That's awesome. You know what? The ideas for tattoos are never ending, my man. They are definitely, there's no loss for ideas out there. And at this point, with the technology and the equipment that we're using and the quality of the ink, there's no reason people can't get a wonderfully foundationally well-structured piece that's going to have the elements that's going to make it hold up over time, and it's going to look great. I've been using that little Ego machine from Bez. Man, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, Bez's machines are cool, and I think he's got a new one in the pipe.
Is that right? I can't say enough good things about it. It really, I use it for pretty much exclusively now for my shading since I've gotten it, and I use it a little bit for lining. I'm not super, I don't use it as much for lining. I need to talk with the guys over there, maybe at Off the Map, and get a little insight into using that. But it's wonderful for shading. It'd be great for doing a piece like this with the ship, where you pack in that nice dark black and that beautiful blue. It's great.
I think next up is a Dennis Wheeler piece after this. Yeah, there's Dennis. Dennis is from Denmark. He's a character, that's for sure. I just lost my mic, so if you guys heard anything weird, it's because I just took my mic off.
That's all right. A little scratch, no big deal. That's I think people are probably so mesmerized by this lion piece that they didn't even think about it. It's beautiful, man. You know, this goes to show you guys all over the world are putting out beautifully executed and well designed pieces. You know, there's no reason that you have to go and trade a 6-pack of beer for a shitty tattoo in the back of somebody's garage anymore. You can get wonderful work anywhere across the world.
Yeah, this Gary Dunn piece is a good example of a pretty great tattoo. And
how cool is that? It reminds me of like like an Irish fighter or something.
Definitely, it's got a traditional vibe, but it's definitely done in a more modern style.
Yeah, I like it. I like myself. I like mixing things up. I like doing some dot work with things. I like doing heavier shading. I like mixing up some more painterly stuff within my traditional. So I love it. I love how this one's look. A lot of detail in this one, and
it also has like an illustrative kind of graphic thing mixed in the background too.
Yeah. You know, the cool thing about like a piece like this is it's going to still hold up over time, and even when some of those minute details kind of fade out, it'll still have that structure there of the dark eyes and the beak and the hat, and you'll still be able to see all those great things and still know what it is. It's really cool to see that guys are taking their work to this kind of level, and it's still going to hold up over time. It still has enough structure to it that it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'd love to know the story behind that one. So this is our last one. This is Alec Triansky. I always have a hard time with his name. Looks like kind of a Cheshire cat kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, that one's hard for me to see. It looks like a lot of detail in it.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's very soft,
that's
soft
cool.
gray.
Yeah, I dig it, but it's still got those hard outlines on it that are gonna, on the parts that need it. That's a tough spot. That chest down and under into that armpit. It's a tough spot to get those to get all those details in there. You got to have a good, strong client that's gonna be willing to sit, and look at how smooth those grays are too.
I really like the gray shading in the tail and stuff.
Yeah.
On that, we're going to have to wrap it up because Mr. Gabe Ripley has got his business webinar coming up right after our show. So he's going to be doing his live business webinar right after this. So Joe,
cool.
Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and talking with us and going through Tattoo Today.
It was my pleasure, and I look forward to meeting you in person and Gabe in person out at Keystone, Colorado. We're going to be there September 13th through the 16th. I will be doing, or 12th through the 16th. I'll be doing shows on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And so far, the one show I have confirmed, Doug Hardy and Matt Shama. We're going to try to get a couple other shows lined up. Jojo Ackerman and Seth Safari I'm in the talks with, and they both expressed interest. So it's going to be a great time. I look forward to it. Man, if people want to get a hold of me to get tattooed, I will be tattooing out there. But they can also, if they're in the Bay Area or Northern California here, out in San Joaquin Valley, they want to come over to Hard Luck, they can get tattooed by me Wednesday through Sunday pretty much. You can hit me up on an email, ogjoeswanson@gmail.com. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. Same thing, OG Joe Swanson.
Right on, Joe.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. Shout out to Electric Avenue, Nowheresville in San Francisco. And shit, man, I love it.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being with us. Hopefully we'll get you back sometime.
Cheers.
Take it easy. And everybody out there, thank you for being with us. This has been a great show. Thanks to Jimmy, Grant, Jen, and of course, Joe Swanson. We had a wonderful show. If you guys have feedback, please get in touch with us at TattooNOW@TattooNOW.com. We want to hear it all, good, bad, indifferent. If you got a product out there and you want to get something on the show, we're always looking for sponsors. We'll give you the plugs and they'll go out forever. So thanks for being with us. And we don't have a show. Well, we do have a show coming up in 2 weeks. Next thing we're doing is a Big Gus seminar, a black and gray seminar. I won't be on camera. Gus will be, but I'll be behind the scenes. Check it out, July 7th. If you want to register for that, go to TattooNOW.com, where we have all of our professional development series webinars. We've got Russ Abbott, of course. We've got Gabe's business seminar. Canman's doing an acrylic painting one. Check it out. Thank you for being with us, and we will see you next time.